What's going on, guys? It's your boy Koyo here, and today we're going to be talking about the weapon meta. And that's actually been something kind of confusing for me this season because I uh I really have to say that this season is the most balanced weapon meta we have ever had. I'm not kidding. I really am not kidding. Our weapon balancing this season has been phenomenal. I mean, there are a few outliers, but other than that, it's great. And we're going to get into the top weapons, which there's a lot of, so this video might be a little long. And I appreciate if you drop a like and maybe subscribe if you like what you see. But other than that, here we go. Now we're gonna start this list with hand cannons and what hand cannons are good. And also something to note throughout this entire thing, I'm gonna be doing legendary weapons. There are a slew of exotic weapons that we'll get into later in the video, but there are a lot of really good exotics. For hand cannons though, you can really get away with using any archetype of hand cannon. And I'm not kidding. They are all really solid in this meta. If you want a 180, your number one pick for a 180 should be a posterity. Posterity, the role I have is rapid hit opening shot. You can go for a rapid hit rampage roll and just pub stomp, or go for my role, which is good for consistency. Honestly, it is very easy to use and it feels fantastic. You get it by the Deepstone Crypt, so maybe hop in there with some friends and get yourself that gun. Another type of hand cannon that is really good is the 140 archetype. And there are two main ones I'd say, and that'd be the Ancient Gospel, which you acquire from the Garden of Salvation. And I heard actually from one of my friends that's really good. Actually, excuse me, there's actually three good 140s. You could go into the Last Wish and pick up the Nation of Beasts. I don't have any good rolls of it. Hell, I've never even dropped it, but I've seen people take it in the trials and it's actually really good. The third and probably most obvious 140 though to pick up is the Dire Promise. This is a world drop, so you're able to just kind of spam tokens for it, and it's pretty easy to get. But I'm always going to recommend this to new players. It's super consistent, has a high aim assist stat, and honestly, it's my number one pick for 140s. Now the last and probably most potent archetype of hand cannons is the 120 archetype. And you're really just going to want to go with the steady hand, which you get from Iron Banner, and you're going to want an iron grip on that. You also are going to want a true prophecy, which you can't actually get anymore. So if you have one in the vault with rangefinder or something, then you're good. But that's all the really good and really consistent hand cannons that we have in Destiny 2 right now. Honestly, that's probably the top pick in my opinion, but we'll get into some more. Moving into pulse rifles, in my opinion, there's only one viable archetype, and that would be the high impact. The high impact is actually able to two-burst people from pretty long ranges actually. I believe it's around 34 meters, maybe 40, so it gets pretty insane. Now, for legendary high impacts, you're going to want to go with either Stars and Shadows, which you actually get from just a world drop so you can turn in tokens, or the Cold Denial, which you get the same way. These two are very consistent. I'd recommend like a head seeker roll on these so that you're able to 4 head 2 body people, and honestly they're great and you can make them real consistent. Those are absolutely meta and something not to be slept on. Though the best high impact pulse is actually an exotic, so we'll get into that later. Speaking of bad segues, let's talk about auto rifles. Auto rifles are still very strong, with 600 RPM being the meta for them. Honestly, it baffles me that not more people use it. Auto rifles still have a really good time to kill of actually 0.77, which a hand cannon has a 0.87, but to be fair with an auto rifle, you gotta hit more crits, which gives it more of a skill gap, really. But with auto rifles, the main ones you're going to want to go for is the Summoner, which you get from Trials. You also get the Adept version of the Summoner from the Flawless chest once it's weak. Also, another auto rifle to go for is the Gnawing Hunger. Gnawing Hunger is just a world drop. You can turn in tokens to Shax or even Zavala to grab it, or just play the game if you want. Honestly, it's a fantastic gun to pick up, and I totally recommend it. And that's really all there is for 600 RPM autos. Now, we're going to be moving into scout rifles. Yes, you heard me, scout rifles. And I'm going to say it flat out. Scout rifles fucking suck. I mean, they really do. But there is one, yes, one legendary scout rifle that I will not laugh at people for using. And that's going to be the Trusty from the Deepstone Crypt. This thing is, I believe, the only rapid fire scout rifle that isn't sunset right now, other than the exotic one. And the Trusty is insane. You can get some good rolls on it. You can get opening shot on it. You can get a lot of perks on it that I really am not thinking of. If you want a perk guide to some of these guns, then I'm probably not the guy to talk to, but I could make a video on it. Just let me know. But that's really the only legendary scout that I really think is meta. I mean, I saw people running it in trials. The only reason people were running it was because it was actually Bannerfall. So, yeah, take that as you want. I use Trusty, and Trusty is actually really good for a scout rifle. Now we're gonna lump SMGs and sidearms in one, just because the SMG one is actually quite short. They're shit. Yeah, all SMGs are shit. If you use an SMG in trials, I'm gonna fucking laugh at you, and that's just the facts. But if you use a sidearm, if you use a fucking sidearm, they are so good right now, and nobody uses them. And I don't get it. I really don't get it. The two main sidearms that you're going to want to go for are the 3-burst ones, which are insane, and you're also going to want to go for the adaptive ones. Now, by adaptive ones, I just mean Drang. Just grab a Drang from the fucking collections, and if it's not in your collections, it's from the gunsmith. So go ahead, grab a Drang. It's so good. It still is good, but I think it's bugged as of making this video. Someone in the comments let me know. But yeah, pick up a Drang. It's super good. You can pair it with a sniper or something, or I don't know, maybe an arbalist, but you didn't hear me say that. Now, moving into the 3-burst sidearms, you're really going to want to go with the Last Hope. Last Hope is really good, but unfortunately it's being sunset after Beyond Light. So maybe go with the Last Dance. Last Dance is the same exact thing, but it has a different name. So yeah, that's your sidearms and SMGs. Now, we're gonna move on to exotics. And there's not enough time in my day to give a detailed description on why you should use all these exotics, but I'm just gonna tell you, you should use these exotics. Last Word, Ace of Spades, No Time to Explain, Arbalest, Suros Regime, Hawkmoon, Thorn, Jade Rabbit, Crimson, Mida, Jotun, Devil's Ruin, Bastion. Alright, that's the end of the video. Fuck you.